It's Sim. This is Off the Market, where tech and social come to strategize. Now, this week, your social media strategy is all about messaging that makes sense. The reason that I want to talk about this specifically at this day and age is because I feel like social media, while it gives us so many benefits and perks to having access to our audience, it also has put us in these weird bubbles where we love to be online, we love to be in people's businesses, but we don't like to actually get to know people. We don't really want to do new friendships. We don't really want to go out. We would rather kind of stay in our own bubble, scroll, put ourselves out there and move on. However, we're not taking the right advantage out of this information that is at our fingertips about our customers that can actually be fueling our businesses and helping us with sales. The reality is you can't build a social media brand without learning how to socialize. You have to figure out how to communicate with your audience, how to understand your audience, how to identify audience trends. If you don't want to just be selling random things and getting random results, if you want to really be in control of what it is that you're putting out there, you need to be aware of who you're putting it out there to, and you need to communicate them in a way that makes sense for them. Think about it. Have you ever dated somebody and felt like, oh my God, you was really it when I was looking at you, but the moment that you open your mouth, it just turned me off more and more and more? We can tell when you want to show up and sell something versus when you just want to show up. And brands that show up are getting the loyalty that all of us desire. At the end of the day, loyalty eliminates questions, it eliminates back and forth, and it eliminates disputes. It reduces the amount of stress that comes with being a business owner, because now it's not just about business. Your community is creating a relationship and they just rocking with you off the strength. I like to call it the Fenty goal, right? When you look at Fenty, when you look at the comment section, you look at people who promote them, people are going to promote that content for free, brand deal or not. They don't care. They just want to promote this thing because they love the messaging behind it and they love the person that has created it and who she is in the world. And so we all want to have that same type of brand loyalty in some way. We want comment sections that defend us without us even having to show up. We want people that want to purchase the thing before they even know what the thing is, because they can rely on you to give a good product, to be up to date on trends, to pay attention to what they need, and you can rely on them to enjoy a good product, give you the benefit of the doubt, and then also give you honest feedback on what you've done great or what you could do better. It's brand loyalty. So messaging is the key driving force towards getting people glued to your brand, to the point that you can now start to develop a brand loyalty that gets you the sales you want, that gets you the feedback you want, and that gets you the brand representation and credibility that you want. So let's go ahead and get into the 4 pillars that we're going to use to make sure that our messaging actually makes sense and also makes us some money, because at the end of the day, we doing this for a bag, nah? Yeah. So stop trying to be the most abstract, unique person in the room, and this is a symbol for this, and when I was 5, I had went to this hermit club, and what I want people to convey, and the people be clear and get to the point. If you sell hair, I need to see the hair. I need to see the hair so clear that I want to touch it, that I want to get it, that I need it in my hands because it looks like, oh my God, it looks like butter. I need to see it on different people's hair. Is it going to blend with mine? Is it going to blend with theirs? Is it going to make sense for I need to see it. The visuals need to make sense. You sell clothes, I need to see it in a closet. If you don't got a closet, hire an influencer that got a closet, because I need to see it with different things. I need to just feel like when I put this on, it's one of the things you hang up, not one of the things that you fold. You know what I'm saying? I need to feel connected to it. So whatever it is, get to the point. Stop selling fruit but pushing out luxury. I don't want to see all that extra stuff, okay? If it's not about what it is that you sell, I don't want to see it. Get rid of it. Get to the point of what it is that you sell and have a conversation with me like I'm in your storefront and you are trying to sell me this thing. Get me interested by talking to me about whatever the thing is, not all the fluff that centers it. Stop giving me your marketing strategy. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel like I'm being marketed to. You feel me? I feel like a lot of brands, especially when it comes to that foundational step of building your brand identity, of finding your brand voice, of figuring out who you're going to be when you communicate to the audience, by doing that, instead of creating an audience member that they can connect to, they create some kind of client or customer that doesn't even exist that they want people to connect to. And then that's weird, because instead of you actually trying to meet the customer halfway, you're trying to get the customer to meet you all the way to a place that you've never been before. It's strange. So If you selling something, sell something. Tell your customers about it. I'm not saying that the caption should be buy this thing, but sis who was like, these my lip glosses, y'all want y'all lips to be popping like mine, she could get my money for real, because I do want my lips to be popping. And that was cute, you know. You said you wanted, you know what I'm saying, you selling the thing. I buy a little thing. Like, just get to the point. Don't make me feel like you trying to get over on me, because then I don't want to spend money with you. Next, speak to one person. Look, when y'all put these posts up and these videos up speaking to everybody, it is so weird and just cringe. Immediately I'm like, yeah, bye. Also, y'all be speaking to the down and out customer. Who is that? The person that you're like, well, your sales not going because you out here doing it. Like, how come everybody broke? Everybody you know broke? That's kind of weird. But other conversation for another day. Speak to one person. Figure out, like we said, that target audience member, who that is, and speak to them. You kind of sound like the average salesman who's like, so you're sitting on your couch, life's passing you by, like you talking at people instead of talking to people. When you identify exactly who it is that you're speaking to, you can be more intentional. You don't have to sell. You can allow your product to sell itself. You can still talk about your product, but you can leave space for someone that is actually possibly interested in what it is that you're selling, instead of feeling like you have to convince them. You got to understand that money is personal for people, right? People work really hard for their money. Even those who have a lot of money or those who don't have any money at all, they work for it. And they're not about to just give it to you. They're just not just trying to give it away just because it makes sense. It's the reason why, even though you need insurance, most people break up their insurance into payment plans instead of paying for it in full, even if they have the money, because they want to use that money to other things. So if you're trying to get somebody to purchase a product from you, you have to be able to hit their pain points, figure out why it is that they need this. Why should they do this with you instead of doing that with somebody else? So let me give you guys an example. Even in this video, I know that there are many people that can benefit from this advice. I know that there are tons of people that can watch this and be able to apply it to their businesses or tell it to a friend or use it in a workshop. However, I'm not talking to everybody. I'm talking to social media creatives. People who use social media to get a bag that pay for the bills. You feel me? Like, not just to do a hobby, to see the bag that pay for the bills. That mean a landlord want his money now, and what I'm doing digitally is going to get it to him. And that's it. That's who I'm talking to. And what I was able to do is fashion who I speak to off of one of my actual followers. I've had a follower that for years, like, has always supported me, whether that's a retweet, a repost, or purchasing whatever it is that I put out there. And so with her, I can do no wrong. She's always looking for the next thing that she can do to be involved with what I have going on. And therefore, instead of me, again, trying to convince somebody off of something that's not even real, I'm going to talk to her and hope that more of her flock in and help me to get to my sales goals. And then the reason that this works for me is that if other people flood in, cool, bet, buy the things, connect with me, get a consultation, but I'm not tripping off of the love lost because of people that I didn't even target or people that I didn't even identify with. I'm also not putting myself in a space to be going back and forth with people who probably don't understand me, the way that I do things, or the social media community as a whole, and therefore feel like, oh, well, this is supposed to happen then, or that's supposed to happen that way. Like, something that I experience with clients, and the reason why I've even made a switch in my business from clients to digital products is because a lot of clients who are not in the social media field feel like, okay, I get somebody in the creative field, I get them on my team, I'm rich in 3 months. Absolutely not. Sometimes these things take years. And also, do you have the infrastructure or the access or the financial reach to be able to employ all the people that you actually need on your team? Yes or no? Figure out your story. My story is, I'm a mom trying to make it work with a lot of things going on a lot of the time. One thing I'm never going to stop talking about is my mommyhood. One thing I'm never going to stop bringing up is my mommyhood. Why do people do that? Like, for example, you see people like Lady Gaga, who's always saying that same thing. Remember that thing on Twitter when she was like, it could be 100 people in a room and 99 of them don't believe in you, and all it takes is that one. And they were making fun of the fact that she kept repeating that thing over and over and over and over again. Or Ellie Talks Money. That's my girl. I absolutely adore her. She's always talking about her story about divorce and her story about being at rock bottom, living with her parents, feeling like she was never going to figure it out. Ooh, I see. We can't do that on camera, girl. We can't do that on camera. And the reason that she keeps bringing it up is because she wants to set a foundation. It's also a way to ground yourself as a content creator, to remember why you started, to remember what the point is. But it gives you a way to have a consistent conversation with your audience so that they really begin to know. You like that? Yeah, I like that too. I spent time on that. So that they really begin to know who you are and what you're about, and they never forget it. It helps you to create that brand loyalty. Would you be loyal to somebody that you didn't feel like you knew for real? Probably not. Alright, let's give you to daddy. Let's give you to the daddy. A lot of y'all not gonna like this last one. Get emotional. And emotions don't have to be the sappy, mushy, like sad thing, but emotional, there's so many ranges of different emotions that people can feel. But the thing is that you don't get to people effectively by getting in their heads. You get to them by getting in their hearts. And a lot of times the marketing strategies that you see online where you're trying to copy what somebody else did, or where you're trying to just get to the point where you're, ooh, well, we got a sale, come by, like the basic marketing is getting into people's heads. And it's trying to get into people's heads to get into their pockets. It's not about getting into their hearts to get into their lifestyle. You want somebody to incorporate you in the way that they live. That's how you have a lifelong customer, because this person feels like, I cannot do without this thing. This thing is like water for me. I literally need it to be able to continue to sustain the lifestyle that I have now put myself a part of. If they don't feel like you are a part of their life, if they don't feel like they're a part of your brand family, you're not going to be effective. The way that this looks is by sharing stories, highlighting the customers that do reach out to you, whether that's in your DMs or in your on your page, in email, sharing testimonials, getting close enough to them to want to share a testimonial, giving the type of work that people want to share a testimonial about. This is how you're able to have messaging that makes sense, all these different components. And with this getting emotional part, you really want to appeal to their values, and you won't know their values unless you study them. So again, are we using social media as a tool that allows us to really get close to our audience in a way that people never were able to do before? They had to do surveys before. Today, you can go on someone's profile and see what they like, see what they're interested in. That's why a lot of these companies are paying psychologists to figure out, how does my audience think? What makes them tick? What are their pain points? What are they more likely to do in this situation, or more likely to do in that situation? Now, you may not be able to afford a psychologist, but what you can afford is time to get on social media and figure out something about the people that follow you. Brands that I see that follow nobody is so ridiculous to me. You're following nobody, which means that you're not putting yourself in a position to actually pay attention to people's patterns, to interact and engage with their content. But you want them to just, okay, I'm just gonna buy this because of it. Like, we know we're not friends. You don't follow me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know some of the girls are like, well, I'm just not following nobody. Da, da, da. And if that's you, get you a burner account, get you a Finsta, spend some time on it, and pay attention to the people that you're marketing to. If you don't know who you're messaging, then the messaging won't count. Now, I hope y'all was taking notes. I hope this was effective for you and a great start to your week. If you like what you see, make sure you comment, like, share, and definitely make sure you subscribe. See you next time.